Welcome back to my free Amazon FBA arbitrage course. Today is the second video where we talk about the differences between retail and online arbitrage. Last time we talked about the different methods of selling on Amazon and the business models that you can use to find your product. So I want to dive a little bit deeper into my recommended business models for people who are getting started on Amazon and might not have a lot of money or a lot of time. Pretty simply, this business model is called arbitrage. It's where you find products for a low price and then you sell the same products for a higher price, normally because you're able to buy them on clearance. And if you remember back to the last video, I said that there were two different types of arbitrage, retail and online arbitrage. With retail arbitrage, you go into stores like a Walmart, a Ross, a Marshalls, and find products in the store. But with online arbitrage, pretty self-explanatory. You just go onto your computer, find products online, and then you sell those products on Amazon as well. If you're new here, my name is Anthony. I've been selling on Amazon for 2 years now, and I live and travel full-time in my van, which is why right now we're in Rapid City, South Dakota. And if you can hear bikes, it's because it's the bike rally right now, and I can't find a quiet place to record videos. If I'm being honest, both of these business models, retail and online arbitrage, are viable business models for selling on Amazon, and people have great success with both, either turning them into side hustles or full-time incomes. But personally, I'm much more familiar with retail arbitrage, where I go into stores, because that's the majority of what I've been doing. But online arbitrage is something that I'm starting to get into, have a lot of friends who do, so we'll compare and contrast the two in this video. So in both retail arbitrage, or as we'll call it RA, and online arbitrage, or as we'll call it OA, there are four main things that have to be done in order for you to have a successful business on Amazon. The first one is sourcing, which is just a fancy way of saying finding your products. Second is prepping your products, because you can't just send them in however you find them. You have to sometimes polybag items, and a lot of times if you're buying them from stores or even online, they might come with price tags that you don't want to be on the items when you send them in. Shipping, send them to Amazon so that they get to the fulfillment warehouse. We've talked about that in the first video. And managing your listings is the last thing that you're gonna have to worry about. This is mainly pricing and making sure that if you have something that's not selling, you figure out why. With retail arbitrage, pretty simply, you're gonna be sourcing at retail stores. Online arbitrage, you're gonna do this online. Prepping, pretty simply, you're going to have to do yourself for retail arbitrage. And a lot of times this includes one of the worst parts about retail arbitrage, which is taking off stickers. And those stickers could either be something small like that or a bigger sticker like this. It just depends on the item. With online arbitrage, you have to do the same thing, but you have another option. You either have to prep yourself, where sometimes it's taking off stickers. Those were actually bought via online arbitrage, or you send it to a prep center, and they will charge you fees for doing this, but they'll prep your items for you, which can save you a lot of time. Shipping your items is pretty simple as well. Box and ship yourself to Amazon. And OA, it's the exact same as with retail arbitrage, or prep center ships it off for you. And the way that you manage your inventory is exactly the same. But even though these are the differences in workflow that you might have between retail and online arbitrage, there are 5 other things that can help you differentiate between the two business models as to which one might be best for you. The first thing that you need to think through is the market saturation. And this is going to be different for retail and online arbitrage, because with retail arbitrage, it really depends on where you live. If you're in a big city or you're close to a couple of smaller cities, retail arbitrage might be a good thing for you to start out with because of some of the things that we'll get to further. But if you're in a very small town or there aren't a lot of stores in your area, the market might be oversaturated for doing retail arbitrage. Online arbitrage is pretty similar if you're trying to sell a lot of the same products that other people are selling, because even though there's more products out there, you might have to be making less money and just doing more volume, which can be a little bit riskier up front if you don't know what you're doing. And a lot of that is because of the upfront time investment that you're going to have to spend. With either retail arbitrage or online arbitrage, you're going to have a learning curve. That's pretty much what this whole channel is about, is teaching you how to get over some of that learning curve by my mistakes. But for both retail and online arbitrage, it's going to take you a while to find your first really good products, so sticking with it is going to be something that you'll have to do for either of these. On top of just the time investment, you're also going to want to probably have a realistic expectation of the return on investment that you'll be able to make. And this is where a difference kind of shines through, because with retail arbitrage, because oftentimes there is less competition of sellers like myself going in and buying items at each specific store, you'll be able to find products that tend to have a higher return on investment than if you did online arbitrage. But the problem with that is online arbitrage, even though you're finding a little bit lower return on investments, you will be able to more than likely buy way more units than with retail arbitrage, because you're limited to the physical stores that you have in your area. So there is a give and take with that. That's why if you have less money, I often suggest retail arbitrage, especially if you have the time to go to the store. So in general, I would say an expected return on investment for retail arbitrage would be anywhere close to 50 to 100% return on investment, but you can set your own rules so that you don't buy anything lower than 100% ROI, which is pretty much what I did for the first 6 months of selling, to make make sure that I wasn't risking too much. Online arbitrage, you can probably expect anywhere from 30 to 50 to 60% return on investment in that area. It also does depend on whether or not you use a prep center, because their fees will definitely eat into that profit. One other difference is the outsourcing and growth potential. Because if we take a look back at the differences between online and retail arbitrage, you're having to go into stores and prep your products and then ship them in. But with online arbitrage, you can get those products essentially sent anywhere, meaning that you can get them sent to your house and you can prep them yourself, and that'll be very cheap for you to do, which is what I'd recommend if you don't have a lot of money getting started. But you can utilize a prep center to save you a lot of time and just work those fees into your buying decisions. You don't have to do any of the prep work, which is what oftentimes is the most dreaded part of selling on Amazon, but there will be a fee to do that, obviously. So which is the best for beginners, online or retail arbitrage? Personally, and this could just be because I started this way, I think retail arbitrage is the best for beginners, at least at the very beginning, because it can be very low upfront investment to learn a lot very quickly. Even if you want to be doing online arbitrage and just practicing your sourcing and building up lists of things that you find online, retail arbitrage is a great way to get started in your Amazon business, because you can go and only buy 1 or 2 products to ship in, and you can really learn how sourcing works if you've never done anything like it, and how Amazon's platform works. But if you're really short on time or you have a little bit of extra money, online arbitrage definitely can be a good way to go. But either way, they're viable business models that you can use to make an extra $100, $500, $1,000, or even $10,000 per month for yourself. If this answered the question for you of retail versus online arbitrage, it'd be really helpful for this channel if you'd like this video. Otherwise, for next time, we'll be talking about how much money you need to get started on Amazon and the money that you can expect to make based on how much you initially put up. But if you want to check out the last video in the series, check it out right here. The whole playlist will be right down here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.